Rogue state is a term that's used to refer to countries that are deemed to be violating acceptable norms of international behavior or are considered a threat to international peace and security in some way, to countries that are either state sponsors of terrorism or are developing nuclear weapons or other weapons of mass destruction, or are extremely repressive of their own citizens and violate human rights. Rogue states are almost always authoritarian. They're either adversaries of the United States or opposed to U.S. interests in some way. Beyond that, though, there are considerable variations. The term rogue state has no standing in international law. It's primarily a U.S. term. The term rogue state gained real currency in the 1990s during the Clinton administration. Before then, other terms had been used for more or less the same group of countries. The Reagan administration used the term outlaw states. The first Bush administration used the term renegade states. Sometimes you hear the term outlier state or pariah state, usually used when a country is in massive violation of human rights. States of concern is another term. One of the first was Iran in the 1980s following the revolution, and then Iraq and Sudan. Even the 1990s, Serbia, the former Yugoslavia, was designated a rogue country. North Korea is currently seen as a rogue player in some ways. The term rogue state was banned by the State Department in 2000 because it was not considered a useful policy framework to guide U.S. foreign policy. But then it was resurrected through the famous Axis of Evil speech in 2002, and it has been sort of resurrected somewhat since then. The principal interest of the United States with rogue countries is to prevent them from becoming sponsors of terrorist acts. The other big concern is the possible proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. The third area is concern for their citizens who live in very repressive situations. There are several challenges that confront the United States in dealing with a rogue state. By exerting more pressure on them, you can actually strengthen them domestically. They can use it to generate support publicly, to point to the United States as the great Satan, as it was in the Iranian case. You can reduce your own leverage to influence policies in those countries. When you designate a country a rogue state, it could put you at odds with your partners and allies. Cuba is a case in point. Whenever you design a policy toward a rogue state, you do have to believe that it will actually be effective in changing the behavior of the country. But often you have to think about the unintended consequences. There are always countries that are engaged in activities that you find to be abhorrent or against U.S. interests. And I think the main takeaway is that we have to have much more nuanced policies toward those countries, because once you demonize them, it makes it difficult to design focused, targeted policies that you might want to change. You are locking yourself into a designation that may frankly make it much harder for you down the road.